Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are around the world. This is Hannah from Reality Awareness. If you don't know me, welcome to my page, welcome to my live stream. I'm going to be doing psychic readings today. I've been deep in filming Heart Chakra Consciousness this morning. And if you're waiting on your 3-card reading, it's happening today. So it'll arrive in your inbox today. If you'd like to book a private psychic reading with me, you can always comment psychic below, but we're going to do some live psychic readings today. So let me bring this up and say hi when you're here. Let me know where you're from around the world. Let me know how you're feeling after this full moon business stuff is out of that 3-day window, right? Okay. I'm a little bit nervous coming on here today. I don't know why. Why would I be nervous coming on live stream? I've just been filming all morning. It's kind of hilarious. And waiting for this to load. I've got like all these videos processing. I probably should have grabbed my laptop actually. Oh, there we go. More options, share to group. Okay, I'm just gonna share this live stream and then we'll set up this space for the readings for you guys. You know what? I'm gonna go and grab my laptop because, is it gonna let me? I should have thought about that because I've been filming and now, yeah, okay. I'll be back, bear with me. You'd think that I'd have this organised, but I don't really have it organised this morning, so bear with me. Bear with me. Oh, see, it is doing that. I just don't want it, because my computer's like when you're doing a lot of video editing and processing, those of you who know, you know. Those of you who don't know, you're doing a lot of video editing, processing and all the things. It takes a lot of energy. A lot of computer energy to, you know, do that thing. So I'm just going to have my laptop open in case the thing that... Yes, love hearing how you're going after this full moon. I will be present with the comments in just a moment. But yes, tell me how you guys are feeling about it. I've been doing a lot of energy updates and did that the big 3-part series of the energy update. Oh, thank you. Receiving your comments that I'm so beautiful. Receive. See how you receive, guys. You say, thank you. Received. So funny, this guy in the supermarket the other day, it was so random. It was so random. It was so random because like I live in the country and I live in a country, like a small country town is like our local, if you may. And like it was just so weird. Like I don't know, I sort of noticed him. He was an older man and he walked past and then he's like, do you receive compliments? And I was like, yes, I do. If you want to learn the art of abundance and wealth and prosperity, you have to be able to receive, guys. If somebody like says you're beautiful and you're like, oh no, I feel ugly today. Like you just pushed away abundance. Like if you can't let somebody open the door for you or carry your bags or, do you know what I mean? Like it's like it starts with the little things, right? So when somebody gives you a compliment or even asks if you're open to receiving a compliment, you know, do you receive, you know, compliments? I was like, yes, I do. It's like, you're beautiful. It's like, thank you. Received. Practice it and watch how your world changes. Okay, stop touching that computer. Hang on a second. And then he started telling me all this like past life stuff and everything. And I'm just like, what is happening in my local little supermarket town? I was like, what is this guy? It was so random. It actually had all these other deeper synchronicity meanings. It was actually like really huge because it just stuff doesn't happen in my country town. All right, I'm just gonna log out of that computer because I just need to let it do its video processing and I'll just use my laptop. So hang on a second. yeah, it was actually really, really significant. So I was very grateful for it, but I was just like, and my mind was already blown. My mind's been blown like for the past 2 to 3 weeks, like just all this like exponential stuff is going on. And I'm like, this is heart chakra consciousness, guys. You know, when I've been like sharing about starting heart chakra consciousness, do you want your dreams to come true? I'm like, this is where dreams come true. I'm like, I'm not fucking kidding. I'm not fucking around, right? Like when I say these things, I'm like, I'm serious. Like for real, for real. Oh, for real. Okay. All right. I just want to share this one last place. Hang on a second, because I just had to switch computer and okay, I think we're good now because goodness me. All right. So I'll just concentrate for a second because I'm telling stories and I'm trying to share this and hang on. Okay, share to feed. Okay, I think we're good. I'll just double check that I didn't double share it because I was talking and this computer just needs to do its video processing thing. And if those of you who are waiting on your 3-card reading, it's coming today. It will be in your inbox today. So it's happening. All right. So if I just bring up this live stream now. And yeah, like I said, I'm curious how you guys are just joining, how you guys are feeling after our blue full moon. We're sort of talking about all the things. I've just come out of filming Heart Chakra Consciousness this morning, so I'm just like in it. And you know, when I film it, like when I film and like I'm taking you guys through the Chakra Consciousness journey, like this is the advanced certification. This is, you can come in and just do each chakra. Like this is, like I live this stuff, you know what I mean? Like I truly live this stuff, you know? And I shouldn't be surprised when I turn up to film and all these like downloads and revelations come in and I'm like, I shouldn't be mind blown right now, but I am. And I'm like, what is happening with my life? And I'm like, oh, that's right, I live this stuff. And you know, like I've been up since 4 this morning, getting like the heart stuff ready to film, getting ready to film, had an emergency call with my inner circle client who's going through this incredibly massive transformative change. And then there was another client that I said yesterday, I was like, do you remember a couple of days ago in the full moon ceremony, we traveled through the water? And then this client this morning, I'm like, are you next to the water right now? She's like, yep. But I'm like, remember in the full moon ceremony, we went through the water, and I was like, it's just like literally live this stuff, you know? Anyway. Okay, so let me arrive at your comments and then we're going to start the psychic readings. That's what we're here for today. I could just go on talking about stuff, but today I want to be here for psychic readings for you. Yay! So Arika, hello. Kelly, hello. Jody, hi. Kind of all over the place and emotional. Okay. So one of the heart chakra videos that I actually shared this morning, I'm feeling called, like this is the thing, when I'm filming it, I'm getting all this information just like in the full moon ceremony and like all this information is coming in. It's just how it works. I actually got the message that I'm going to share this particular training video from the Heart Chakra Consciousness publicly. So once it processes and uploads, if you're on my email list, I can send it to you. If you're not on my email list, just comment heart below and I'll make sure I'll send you this little snippet of a training video. So the course is 3 months long, and I film, you know, videos, and it's like, you know, it's what is it, lifetime access, work at your own pace course, but we're doing it as a 3 month journey together. So if you want to join Heart Chakra Consciousness, just send me a message and we can talk about that. Anyway, so the reason I'm saying that, because when you say, Rika, that you're kind of all over the place emotionally, I'm like, I was definitely talking about why that happens. You know, even though you might not be in Heart Chakra Consciousness course, you're still in the energy of it, because when I channel these courses, I'm affecting consciousness on the planet, like for real. But it's like when I get to them, like every chakra that I've done so far, the crown, the third eye, the ears, the throat, it's like it's been reality, you know, and then we're hitting the heart and all these big transformations are coming. We're like releasing an old paradigm. So all over the place emotionally means that all the light frequency codings coming in from the cosmos and all these massive shifts that's happening, and we spiral up on the ascension train, so to speak. If there's trauma, what came through in the training, it was like, if there's chakra trauma, right? So in trauma in your general, in, you know, trauma in your body in general, but when these light frequency codes come in, if there's trauma to deal with, it hits on it and it's like it cracks it open. And this is why we feel like, oh, like, because we're in it, right? And so it's really good to be working with it consciously. Yay, Karen, manifestation shifts happening. So yeah, it's very normal. And if you haven't watched my three-part important collective update. So in the last 2 weeks, I did a 3-video live stream. I can send you the replay. Just comment series below. That will really help explain the energies that have been going on and are still really in. There's a lot of people experiencing a bucket load of anxiety at the moment as well. There's a lot of change energetically happening on the planet and everybody's feeling it, right? So yeah, a lot of things going on. So if you haven't watched that collective update, three videos, just type in series, I'll send it to you. Really helps to give you a bigger picture of what's going on energetically and you won't feel so crazy anymore. Yes, okay, awesome. Hello everybody who's here, I love it so much. Okay. Okay. So positive things as well. Yeah, lots of that polarity stuff going on. So yeah, definitely watch the series if you haven't watched it. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty good. I've been like I said, I've been up since 4, filming Heart Chakra Consciousness, emergency call with my client, my inner circle client, been like in this like the heart chakra. That's where I've been all morning. Lots of changes going on, lots and lots of changes going on at the moment. As we hit to the frequency of the heart is kind of what happens. So Kelly says, wanting so badly to fully believe in what's been manifesting, but I've really been struggling to feel in flow. So when we are like not in our usual connected flow, like there's super flow, there's flow, and there's what the fuck's going on. When we're in this point, it's a recalibration of the connection of your flow, which is a very heart chakra recalibration of the direction of your life. So yeah, and in those spaces, like, you know, ages ago I did a live stream called You're Not Lost, You're Recalibrating. And it's like when we feel lost, we're going through an ascension upgrade, we're going through an energy shift, we're going through a phase of transformation, right? And a lot of people is like, you know, a lot of people you know, think there's something wrong with them. And it's like, no, like your life is changing, especially if you do this personal development work, especially if you do like all of these things, like your life will undergo changes. And the more development, personal development, psychic development, healing, whatever you do, like we tend to do it as normal and we sort of forget that it creates change. And so it's like whenever, you know, I always say when you feel lost, you're recalibrating. Yeah. So always remember that. Always remember that. Went to the beach. Oh, I know when someone asked me how am I feeling, I'm like, I kind of want to go to the beach. And then I'm like, I'm choosing to get this recording done instead. But it's a really, like I can feel the beach calling. It's interesting. Went to the beach. Oh my God. Yes. best. Purging, decluttering and organizing. I love it. Always feels good. It's like a change of season too, right? So we're coming into spring and coming into autumn, depending on where you are in the world. So we're all also feeling not just the 2-week, you know, spin come out of August that we just, you know, I explained and talked about in the 3-part series. Like I said, if you haven't seen it, comment series below and I'll send it to you, the replays. You know, and so because my client, she's like messaging me, she's like, I just did a huge spring clean because it was the first of spring here yesterday. And then the other day, like 2 days ago, I like got in my car and it said like 32 degrees and I'm like, I've been waiting for this winter. Like I was dreading this winter coming up at the start of the year because it's so cold where I am. I'm sorry, it's not cold for most people where they live in cold climates. For me, living in tropical Queensland, it gets cold. I don't do well with the cold, right? So, you know, anyway, the point is that coming, like, we didn't really have we had a little cold snap. Like, usually gets to like -2 here and stuff. And I get really cold because these Queensland tropical houses are not built for cold. And I was really dreading it. And we really didn't have it. And like this past sort of month, I've been like, you know, waiting. I'm like, is winter late or have we just not had a winter? It's very interesting. So, guys, scammers are out. I will never like hassle you. I will never friend request you unless we've spoken privately. Like, please know that, you know, like the scammers are already out. So just don't, use your intuition, okay? If they're like hounding you or like, please friend request me, or I can do a love reading, it's fucking not me, okay? You guys come to my live stream for that. I will never hassle. I will never ask you for your credit card. I will never get you to click on a link unless it says realityawareness.com, www.realityawareness.com. If it does not say that before anything else at the end, do not click on it, okay? Scammers are out. Use your intuition. It's not me. Unless it says realityawareness.com, www.realityawareness.com, and then it might say psychic readings or whatever else that I'm offering you, heart chakra, whatever. Make sure it has www.realityawareness.com. I know I'm repeating myself. I'm stressing about it. I don't want you guys to get scammed because people clone my account. It looks like me. If you really be like careful and look on their profile, if you scam, like they're just sharing my content. They're hassling you. There will be grammar errors. Like just beware. Okay, that's a little part gone. All right, let's start these readings. Hey, I'm just gonna quickly check these comments here. Yes, heart. Okay, heart chakra. Heart. Okay. And thank you. Someone said there about, you know, that I explain things. Yeah, Jody, you explain in a way everyone can understand. It's great. Thank you. I feel like that's a big part of my gift is to help articulate the energy, yeah, that's going on. I don't like the cold either. Yay, you needed to hear all this today. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, if you haven't watched my 3-part series, it will really help explain what's going on because there's a big, like the energies going on is really setting the tone for like the rest of your life. Like cosmically, energetically, there's just, you know, it's there. So it's really big. Okay, you got scammed by a lady this week. Yeah, honestly guys, just if it doesn't have www.realityawareness.com, don't do it. Especially if they're like hustling you. You can tell, you can just tune into the energy, it's like. And if you're not sure, send me a message, okay? Hannah, is this you? I'm like, no, I'll probably voice reply back. So you really know it's me. Okay, let's start these readings. Obviously we need to do a little check-in. So for my readings, just comment yes please below now, or just type it in. So yes please, or yes please Hannah, or reading please, something like that. So then I've got a list of yes pleases. Please only comment once. I do see your comments. And then I intuitively scan through to see who I'm going to read for. So I'll just wait for a moment for these yes pleases to come in and okay. All right. Archangels. So if I don't pick you, if you're intuitively conscious, you will be listening with your intuitive ears and eyes because you will understand that it's a message for you as well. Okay, so who is this for? Okay, just going back to these yeses. Oh yeah, the other rules, guys, is you have to stay present. Cara O'Halloran. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that name correctly. Okay. All right, there's a few here. All right, so in the past, we have the Chariot, Archangel Metatron, determination and self-control, career advancement. I feel like things have moved really, really rapidly for you, Cara. Acknowledgement of success by others. And it's so interesting, like there's a lot of like sparkles, they're stars. And it's like this star, back to front, this star thread, right? It's like this wave of stars. That's all I've been talking about to my clients, I think in the full moon ceremony. And it's like this thread of stars, like follow the thread of stars. Use it like a rope, like it's your faith of rope. It's your rope faith. It's your faith rope pulling you to the next dimension and the next frequency, because that's what's really happening on this planet, right? So things have been moving really fast. You're like, what is happening? But there's this releasing the past, right? Releasing the past that's happening in the now. Release the past, there's a more enriching future coming, let go and let God. Now, this card is Archangel Azrael. This can also like represent death. It is like representing like letting go of the past, but Archangel Azrael specifically helps people cross over like with the death and dying. I mean, like mediumship, like someone did, I don't know, like if somebody, I don't know if it's like grandma, auntie, or someone sort of, I don't know, like hanging around or about to go, I don't know, they're coming back through from the light. So I don't know if they're like, I don't know. They're making their presence known regardless. And it's almost like fairy godmother type energy. I picked this up the other day. Someone else. So the Chariot, things are moving really fast, but there's a lot of destruction going on, a lot of change happening all at once. But it's the polarity shift we've been talking about, and it's like good and bad at the same time. It's not really bad, it's just the dismantling of the old for the new to come in. And I feel like I keep hearing like sailing onto new heights, or you know, and when we really look at sailing in the ocean and all those pieces, it's a new dimension, it's a new reality, like a whole new birthing process for you. And this one here, the situation has ended. And I'm so curious for you, Kara, like, is it that you have moved away from something or someone, or you know you have to and you haven't done it yet? Because this is in the what you're hoping for and what you're scared of. It's like, I know I need to do this, but I'm scared of it, but I kind of feel like it's already in process. And it's almost like you've been pushed along to it. You didn't have a hand in this, right? It's like the light and the dark. It's like the black and the white, like you're in full balance. And it's like, because of that, everything's like aligned for you. But I wonder if there's, I don't know, a bit of fear there about what's happening. And this, and that makes sense with the inner child card. It's like, but again, there's such a balance here for you. So even though this is inner child, but there's a boy and a girl, and I love it. Danielle, listening at work, sneaky messages, listening at work, multitasking, guys. I told you, any of my live streams, you can always multitask listening. Just sitting here on the chair. So like the masculine and feminine. So even though it's inner child, it's still a balance, and that's why getting there's a lot of balance. Things are being moved forward, the black and the white, the dark and the light, but there's just like this sort of, it's normal to feel fear when we just go through change. Do you know what I mean? Like it is. But for some reason, I'm just feeling like it's like you, I don't know, you're holding on, or there's something, I don't know, do you trust? There's something there. So you have invested wisely, have patience and wait for the harvest, review your progress and make plans for your next endeavor. And that's why I'm like I feel like the foundations are solid. Like the foundations are solid. You don't need to worry, but it's like there's something or someone hanging around, or you just haven't quite made that full break, or and it feels like a lot of threads. Like it's not just like one person or one thing. It's almost like everything is collapsing, if you may, which, you know, is very, very on point with the energies going on anyway. But I do feel it's something specific with career and relationship all at the same time. So Kara, super curious how that sounds for you. I'm just going to pull one more card as an overlying check in with that. You've been working on your fears, yeah. And so those fears really stem from this inner child. So, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of inner child meditations and whatever out there. So my inner child meditation's on my website. And you know, in the meditation, when you purchase the inner child meditation, it's $15. If anyone wants that, just comment inner child and I'll send you the link. In there, I've got like full training videos, because there's lots of different healing protocols that you can use with the inner child. So you could do inner child like every day for 30 days, taking 2 days off a week break, integration. You could do it for every day for 7 days, or you could do it for like 12 months, which is really huge. but I'm like, to heal inner child wounding or any sort of trauma that we might be carrying, etc., it's a long period of time. Like, we're like, how old are we now? We've like lived all our life in this patterning, and so it takes time to unpattern and repattern, and you can do that with inner child. So it's interesting when I was like, you know, inner child healing helps to release the fears, but there is a big balance going on, and you've got a lot of support plus the taking care of yourself, as you said, you know, like working through your fears, and really coming into that sort of like the nurturing mother. It's almost like the paradigm. That's what it is. The paradigm is releasing. Yeah, the paradigm is releasing in being able to nurture yourself and come into full effect, because this is the overarching card, as well as, you know, the Chariot. You've invested wisely. And I just feel like I want to say to you, keep going. Like, keep going. You're on the right path. There's something about a relationship there though, so it's like something that's hanging on from the past to be let go of, it feels like. Yeah. Okay, next person. So once I get off live stream, I'll send you guys the inner child, so yeah, if you need that. So Kara, thank you. Okay, so for the next person, yeah, just on that, Kara, though, there's something like a grandmother or auntie or someone, and I'm not sure if they're already passed over or they're about to, or it's like they're a guide, and it's almost like they're giving you that sense of safety and trust so that you can do that. And I think that's why we're also with the inner child, and I shuffled it. It's like, it's like that special bond and connection is not broken. Like, it's something like, and I wonder if that's like the generational sort of part as well of like, hey, this is the old paradigm releasing. So it's like hanging on from, you know, what you thought as a child it was supposed to be is what you've been breaking through of. And that grandmother or auntie or, you know, it's like whoever that special bond was as a child, it's like, it's almost like the fantasy bond is being like broken and rewritten, and it's like, instead of it being a dream or fantasy, it's like into reality, but on a much healthier level. So it's like, oh, your nana has passed and always just dropping in. Yeah. And this is where it's like, she's there, she's supporting, she's like the fairy godmother, but it's like, you're also undoing the patternings that have been imprinted. Not that she was bad, or it's like just generational, do you know what I mean? And it's like you getting to rewrite your story without those influences. And that's why it's like this, but you're really supported in all of that, but it's like really nurturing that, because it's such a frequency shift. I feel like I'm still in heart chakra consciousness. I just filmed all about that. It's a frequency shift, and that's what happens in the frequency shift. Yeah. Okay. Makes total sense. Thanks so much. Yeah, you're great, Granny. Great Granny. Oh, is your guide and your nana passed. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're totally doing that. Yeah. It's big. It's really big. Not many people get to this stage, but I think a lot more are as well, you know, because of that. Yeah. Okay. All right. So yes, please. I see some yes, pleases there. So yeah, so those of you who are just joining, how I work my readings is if you can just type in yes, please now. I see there's yes, pleases coming in. So number one, you have to say present on the live stream. Number two, type in yes, please when I ask it. Just do it once. I see your comments. I see them all. And then I will intuitively scan through. Okay. All right. Sorry, Kara had more information. I was like, didn't feel complete. All right, so there's two cards that have come out already, and I'll just see who this yes, please is for. Kara says, thank you so much. Connecting with dragons and galactic beings has brought up so much fear, past life stuff, so working through it all. So dragons and galactic beings are connected to crown chakra consciousness. When we're in crown chakra consciousness, it's galactic beings and dragons. Like, it's kind of, if there was spirit guides for the crown chakra. And then past life stuff, like when we drop, so as you know, I work from the chakras down, crown, like come down to earth, right? So as I work from the chakras down, open up dragon, and also heart. So when we work with the crown, heart's automatically activated, right? So the dragon is very connected to the heart and the crown, and the galactic beings, of course. And then when we drop in, third eye chakra is past, present, future, and also like past lives, but relationship dynamics, how it all intertwines. Like if there was a word for it, it's relationship dynamics and the energetics. And when we understand that at a deep level, it's mediumship, dream, clairvoyance, interpretation, all that sort of thing, of course. But so it's very interesting that you're working through all these fears, because this is like next level of your spiritual evolution. Like you're on the journey. You're covered down. I'm like, how long have you been following me for now? It's kind of a thing though. Just thought I'd say that. Yeah, awesome. I love that you're working through that. Okay, who is this for? Barry, you're not going out. Sorry, my cat's just trying to, he's like scratching at the door. I'm like, no, you're not going out. Okay, Samantha. Is Samantha still here? Samantha, I don't know how you pronounce your last name. Samantha, P-A-I-G-G-E. P-A-I-J-E. I can't even spell it. Is Samantha still here? Just want to double check before I start reading. You're so welcome, Cara. You're so welcome. Okay, awesome. Samantha's still here. So I want to say, it feels like you've been going through a hard phase as well. The peaceful warrior is when it comes into a place where you let go, you surrender, and you're like, you know what? There's kind of nothing else that I can do right now. And in that letting go process, Paige, okay, thank you so much, Samantha. Paige, that's easy for me to pronounce. Thank you. Barry, you're not going out. Come here. No, it's bed. This is my favorite cat. This is Berry. Hi, baby. Oh, you're not going outside? Sorry. Wants to go outside and sleep in the paddock with the ticks, so I don't like them sleeping in Tickville. They can stay inside in the day. Anyway, okay. I'm present, guys. I really am. Doesn't seem like it, but I am. Trust me. Cats, independence, cats, healing, cats, trusting your intuition. This for you, Samantha. Trusting your intuition. Trusting your intuition in the letting go. Hands off. Ain't nothing I can do with this right now. Done all I can. And it's not that you're like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. It's that you know that there is, you know, it's a bit like that sort of saying of, it's 11:11, guys. Thoughts focusing, the saying of, like, when you're trying to explain something to someone who's on a different consciousness level, it's like, it's a waste of breath. Like, there's no point, right? Like, people they just don't get it. And that's not in a harsh, judgmental way. It's in like, you know, those conversations where it's like, I'm not going to win this. Like, and it's not about winning, but you just know when to step back. This is the mastery and this is the wisdom. And this is what you've been stepping into, Samantha. And I want to say, like, you've been doing it with grace, but I feel that there's a bit of almost doubts or fears coming up that you've made the right choice, but you have. This one, make a wish, that I pulled before. Make a wish and enjoy its manifestation. Hang on, it says, make a wish, dreams become reality, a joyful time of life. I think I was reading from another deck off my mind. So the Nine of Raphael, it's like, it's a really magical time for you. And the Star as well, Jophiel, a dream come true, believe in yourself, the end of a difficult situation. And this is where like that surrender and letting go, like peaceful warrior. And because the bottom card of this deck as well is the wounded healer, the dandelion. And in this, it's the, like, I want to say the coming together of stuff. Hang on, I'm just trying to find this book. These cards are still new, so I'm just going to have a quick look and see what jumps out at me, because this is, because this is about setting the boundaries. It's like setting the boundaries and leaving the rest up to spirit, right? So milk thistle dispels the damaging and destructive thoughts that can induce an endless loop of self-sabotage. Abandon insecurity, gossip, and fear-based protection strategies that enable frustration or a false sense of growth. Don't waste your time trying to control what cannot be controlled. Like a peaceful warrior, set your boundaries firmly and fearlessly. Milk thistle, like badger, milk thistle shakes up the systems that hinder innovation and halts patterns and behaviors that stunt growth. Know that you are not changing. Know that what you are not changing, you are choosing, right? And this is where it's just like hands off, like set your boundaries, walk away. But it's because you're choosing this, right? It's like, it's such a magical time for you. And it's like, it's almost like, if you're going to come with me, you're going to come with me. And if not, I'm doing it anyway. And it's just in that really empowered place, because you're stepping out of this wounded healer, in essence of like trying to heal everybody, because we know that not everyone can be healed because they simply don't want to be, right? Anybody can heal, anyone can heal anything. I'm a sole believer in that. Like, that's like my strongest belief ever. But what I've learned over these 18 years of being in this industry is that the person needs to want to not just change, do the long-term work to affect that change. Nobody can do that for them. Nobody can do that for them, right? And this for you, Samantha, is what I feel that, you know, is what you're realizing or stepping into, or have just got to a point where you're just, I'm not. And interesting, the dandelion is also like the Make-A-Wish, right? You know, when we make a wish from the dandelion seeds, it's like, there's so much, and the sense that I'm getting for you, Samantha, is be really intentional with your reality right now. Be really intentional with what you're choosing, with what you're wanting to create. Like, be really intentional, because it's like there's so much potent energy around you that it will manifest. Yeah. And so and it does feel like your partner died, and this is where it's like there's all this, you know, it's like that explains the hands off, right? Like, hands off, don't know what to do. And it's like this milk thistle, and this is where it's like, interesting, right? I'm coming, like, I'm this is what I'm doing. I'm not like coming with you. It's like, but this is what I got to do anyway. Interesting, yeah? All this magical energy makes total sense, right? Like, how much more magical energy could you really get? Like, these are like the most magical cards ever, right? Nine of Raphael, the Star, Jophiel, and this Wounded Healer. Interesting as well, like this bottom card of the Archangel deck. Congratulations, you've done a wonderful job. Time to move on to the next project. And this is like so interesting. I'm so curious how long you guys were together. You know, like when we look at this is sacral chakra, right? And it's like soul contract complete. Soul contract complete, coming into a place of like, you know, that huge recalibration. You know how I was saying to someone earlier, I'm like, you're not lost, you're recalibrating. This can be like, obviously the hardest time ever, right? So, a month ago, but just, yeah, curious how long you were together for. Not that it's relevant. So, number one, do you have a support person that you are working through this with? This is like, he died a year exact from the day we made it official. Oh my God, that's huge. That's really huge. And this is, you know how I was just talking before on the previous reading about Archangel Azrael and helping people pass over? So it's interesting, like, and interesting as well, right? The Wounded Healer. And I'm so curious, like, did you know he was going to pass away? Like, was he ill, or was it she? Because this Wounded Healer, and this is where I feel like what has happened is like a number one, soul contract break, but also like in your soul, I want to say soul destiny, is this like space of a complete recalibration shift of this Wounded Healer energy. Do you know what I mean? That's why I was like, all these manifestation energies, like there's so much magical energy around you because it's this new frequency because of that snap out of that reality. Now, this is all very spiritual cliche stuff that I'm talking about, right? The most important thing that you can do right now is grieve. So this is what I do with my clients. Of course, I do lots of different things with my clients, but one of them is grief, because we can't change our reality, and trauma is birthed in holding on to grief. And then it becomes like a rock, and then it becomes like scar layers on top. And I talk about this in my book a lot. Like if we don't, the thing is that not awesome that your partner's not here anymore at all. Awesome that you're here now, because the most important thing for you to do is to cry and grieve and 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 cry and howl, like as much as possible. Society tells you to get back on with life. I'm like, for the next 18 months, can you just howl your freaking eyes out? Because not only do you like, you know, like when it's fresh, it's the best place to grieve. Because on the timeline points, there's so many different timeline points, but let's say like 18 months, 3 years, 7 years, 10 years, like this grief and the loss of him will come up and up and up and up. And like it's like it's yesterday on specific timeline points. If we don't allow ourselves to grieve, either from, this is like relationship breakup or a death of a loved one or anything like that, if we do not let ourselves grieve at that moment when it happens, like solidly let the tears out, solidly for like weeks or months, and everyone's like, you need to get on with it, and you're like, fuck off, okay, Hannah told me I can grieve for as long as it takes, okay. When it's fresh, it's the best time to just drop into it. Number one, it's easier, okay. You can block everyone out who tells you not, and you can book in with me and I'll hold space for you, okay. Last 3 years of my life, good, okay? Because the thing is, watch out guys, the friggin' scammers are out. You know, like the thing is that like when we allow ourselves to grieve that hard, like super hard, when it's fresh like that, is that when the timeline points come around, it won't be so full on. It'll still be full on, but you've dealt with the biggest part of it, okay? And like I said, it you know, whether it's a relationship breakup or a change in career or the loss of a loved one or whatever, like like when it's fresh, fucking run with it, okay? And people will tell you that you need to get pills, that you need to go see a doctor, that there's something wrong with you, and I'm like, you can tell them to fuck off and go and listen to Hannah's live stream, okay? For real, but you're on that train now and it's brutal. It's very brutal, okay? And the reason why it's so brutal, okay, is because when we grieve the loss of a loved one or a relationship breakup or whatever it is, okay, and you've listened to me and you're like, Hannah said it's okay to grieve. It's important that I grieve. And so you do, okay? What happens? What happens is that most of the time, depending on how long you've been with me, most of the time, you let yourself grieve about the current thing, but what starts happening is because you're letting yourself grieve, all the other grief that you've backlogged starts to come up because it's like, oh, finally. Guys, if you get really bad anxiety or panic attacks or anything like that, you need to cry more. It's too much energy in the heart. The heart is like trying to cry, okay? So when this grief like comes, like I said, it's like a wave, and you'll like go through a period and you'll cry for a month, for example, and then you'll be like, oh, thank fuck, son. And then like 2 weeks later, it'll start again. And I want to say, like, when you start doing this journey and this process, like, give yourself in your head 3 years. And you might be like, fucking what, Hannah? What? 3 years? So for Emma, I'm grieving a 20-year relationship breakup, and I'm like, so you have in your head 3 years. Now, that doesn't mean that when you're like, you know, you're going to cry for like 3 years, like not being able to function. Some days you will not be able to function, okay? And if you have the time, space, and energy to be able to allow yourself this, please know it's called healing. It's called healing. That's what this is called. Healing. There is no pill. There is no healer. There is no breath work session. There is no friggin' plant medicine ceremony that will heal you other than what this will do. This is what you can do, okay? Let's see if I can find something. Like how many people have gone to like a healer or a breathwork ceremony or something else, and they've just not been able to, like, you know, they're fine for a bit and then it all just comes up again. Why? Number one, it takes time to heal. Number two, if you're not feeling the grief that comes out, like it's pointless. Like it's, you know, plant medicine, breath work, any of that sort of stuff is like a Band-Aid, just like a pill, okay? Because nothing will ever beat the actual grief that comes out. So, and, you know, and in this, like I said, like, you know, this, and it's so interesting. What was jumping out at me was in the milk thistle is like the drops, like, it's like, you know, but it's kind of like this letting go. It's like, you know, it's like, I've got to do this anyway, even though you don't want to. Trying to look for something and it's not coming up. I don't know why I can't find it. Maybe I'm just not meant to talk about it right now. I'm just going to have a conscious look. Hang on a second. No way, it's not coming up. No, I give up. It's all right. Maybe I'm not supposed to talk about it. That's fine. Anyway, the point that I'm sharing is like, it's so important that you let yourself grieve when it's fresh. And it's scary. It's hard, especially if you've never had anyone there. By the way, guys, if you want support, I actually extended my 21-day shifter program for another 24 hours. There's probably another, I don't know, 12, 15 hours left on the clock right now. And my 21-day shifter program is usually quite, you know, a decent investment. I shouldn't have it at this low investment price. It's ridiculous. If you want to work with me, I'm like, this is the thing to work with me. So my 21-day shifter program is 21 days, obviously, voice message, text message, back and forth over Telegram, similar to WhatsApp. And one of my clients messaged, she just joined this week, and she's like, not even, I don't know, it was like our second voice chat. She's like, oh my God, Hannah, all this stuff is like shifted already. She's like, I can't believe it. It's like the investment has already been like completed already. And I'm like, we haven't even started yet. Being in my space shifts you. And so if you need that support, comment shifter below. There's not much longer on the clock to get into that, but I did extend, I got the message to extend that. So, okay, back to Samantha. So obviously this is really important message for a lot of people here today. So Samantha says, yeah, I honestly feel like I'm going to have a random heart attack. I can't control the pain. Okay, do you know what that is? That's your grief. Okay, when we suppress emotion, we feel nauseous, we feel sick, and our heart, like, you know, so it's like our tears are trying to come out. Okay, here's the thing. Tears release the stress hormone cortisol from your body. Like, you know how like we sweat or we go to the toilet and it releases like all the bad stuff from our body? Like, tears release cortisol. What is cortisol? It's the stress hormone. Okay, so when we cry, it changes our brainwave state, okay? When you can cry with somebody, being present with you, it's exponential healing, right? Doing it by yourself, is healing. But if you can be vulnerable enough also to cry with somebody in front of you, just giving, not trying to fix you, not trying to tell you it's going to be okay, or like with a child, like, get the keys and like, oh, look at the birdie, and distract. No, full presence, okay? Tears release the stress hormone cortisol. If you can imagine trying to hold back your tears, right, which we do, and the reason we do is because we don't feel safe. As a little child, we were told that if you don't stop crying, I'm going to belt you and lock you in your room, and you probably were. When you were in the crib, you're probably left to cry it out, that mainstream method. Oh, look, they stopped. What happens in that? Like, the abandonment kicks in and the child just goes onto flight or fight mode from like a baby, and then everybody's got all these health problems and we wonder what's going on. And if everyone just had a massive fucking cry, the society would be much better. Okay. So when the stress hormone is not being able to be released, okay, because what happens when somebody dies or a relationship breakup is we go through massive change. Life changes and we're like, and all of a sudden, like, we're just like, I wasn't ready for this, okay? And so we go into fear, and then the stress of like the change, let alone the grief of losing someone you fucking loved, okay? It's like, that stress building up, okay? And then it's like coming into, like it builds up in the body, and then we feel, because the heart actually wants to feel, okay? And the grief is like, sorry, got into trouble for being in the bathroom too long because you're listening to me. Is that what's happening? I'm sorry, is that what you mean? Or because you're crying, listening to me? I hope you guys are letting out tears as you're listening to me now. It's very healing. I'm here listening to you, okay? Energetically, I'm holding you. Even if I'm laughing at times, I'm not laughing at you, please know. It's like, so the heart attacks, and this is a heart attack, like, in essence of like, but it can feel like that. It's a bit like when I'm doing a distance healing and different clearing on, distance healing clearing, you get the point, an energy clearing on somebody, it's like, you know, like I will be burping, coughing, like getting it all out, and or if the person is in front of me, we're doing that together. Sometimes in my full moon ceremony, like some people experience, because it's a healing, and that's what happens, like we're burping, that's why we go to the toilet, that's why we do detoxes, that's why all shit comes out, you know what I mean? Like it needs to come out. So tears cleanse the soul. Yes, they do, Claire. So, you know, these heart attacks, you know, you can't control the pain. And I'm like, I don't fucking want you to control the pain. I want you to I want to say, like, just create, I was going to say, lock yourself up in your house. What I mean by that is create a sacred, safe space, you know, like go get your food, get your get everything sorted, and, you know, just give yourself a couple of days, like a long weekend or whatever. If you have to work, hopefully you don't have to work, and you just give yourself, like, you know, prepare yourself, right? Like create a nurturing, safe environment is what I meant by locking yourself in your house. Like somewhere we just need people to go away so we can have this sacred, safe space, because society is taught that it's not okay to cry, okay? And so when we do start doing this, we need to create a safe space for ourselves. So my Reality Awareness support group on Facebook, guys, is free, and it's also a space where you can, you know, comment in and say, I need support, you know, can you hold space for me or whatever? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, this is the tribe that can support you through this hard time, okay? And so, you know, create a safe space, you know, like get all your food, get all your sorted, like, so you can just have a couple of days where you can just, you'll be at home and you can get food, you don't have to go out or don't have to do appointments or anything like that, right? Just give yourself a couple of days. And I want you to, like, you know, create a safe space on your bed or the couch or whatever, and watch videos of each other, like, you know, look at photos, you know, listen to music or movies that make you cry. Like, I want to say, purposely make yourself cry. And there will be grief that comes out that is like it feels like you cannot, I call it piercing the veils grief. It feels like you cannot take another breath, okay? This is like, it's the deepest grief. You feel it in your gut, okay? And grief actually sits in your large intestine. So if you get constipated or anything like that, like, it's grief and you're holding on. Constipation is fear and you're holding on, okay? So the grief, and you know, and people get bowel cancer because they're holding on and they're not doing the grief. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, tears heal everything, and it's at the core of everything, is a moment in time in our life where we held on to that emotion, and then all these other experiences are attracted to that because it's a vibrational frequency and it creates our reality, and it can go pretty deep. But this is, like, you know, like I said, obviously a really strong message that needed to come through for people today. So it's like, create space, right? And if you are working and you're busy, because we run lives, right? It's like, you know, when you know that you need to make space to cry, like, you know, block out a weekend for yourself and do what I just said. Like, it's really healing, and it'll feel like you're not going to be able to stop crying, okay? And maybe you won't to an extent, but when you give yourself, like, let's say a weekend, okay? So on Friday night to Sunday night is like your healing time, and you're going to do what I just suggested, and you create this little sacred space for yourself, and, you know, maybe have a little ceremony or just watch the movies, whatever, okay? It can be so healing, okay? And the thing is that when we create a container, and this is like when I work on a 30-minute call or a 21-day shifter program with my clients, like this, it creates a safety container when we set for ourselves an intention, okay, from Friday night to Sunday night, you know, and you might need to do that once a month for the next 6 months, okay, especially if you're running a busy life. But if you allow yourself that, you're not going to go crazy, you're not going to have panic attacks, you're not going to, you know, and when you do feel that, you're just like, oh, more grief's coming up, okay, cool, I'm going to deal with it on that day. You might not be able to stop the grief in that moment, okay? And the thing is that when you do this, and then when you can feel that grief surfacing through anxiety or something like that, when you let yourself do it, right? Like say, I'll just call it the weekend healing places, okay? The weekend healing spaces for yourself, right? So you do that for the next 6 months, okay? When you're out and about and you get triggered or someone says something and just like the tears come out and you run out of the supermarket and you sit in the car and you're like, not again. If you can give yourself 5 minutes in that car before you drive off, and you just let yourself cry for just 5 minutes. Honestly, like, when you can create these little pockets of sacred space for yourself, this is the nurturing, wherever that card is, whatever, the nurturing Mother Mary. This is like the mother holding you. These little sacred spaces. And the thing is that when you start doing these weekend healing retreats for yourself, right? You are listening to your heart, you're listening to the emotions. And the thing is that with your heart, it's always in motion, okay? We're always feeling. And then when we start to understand the grief and we're not scared of it, when we do hit grief, we can let it come out, because it will come out pretty fast when you give yourself permission to drop into it. And of course, when this is fresh for you guys, it'll seem like you're never going to stop, okay? But when you can just let yourself go into it, you'll find that it'll shift really quickly and you can come back and function in reality until you get home, until you can do your weekend retreat again. Like, it is a skill to be able to feel like this, but I guarantee you, you will be healthier in the long run. You won't have, you won't be knocked by people's energies as much, because you start to become aware of what's your energy and what's not your energy, because of you feel again and you're connected to that feeling. So your intuition becomes more acute. You start being aware of things. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's all these roll-on benefit effects from it, okay? But I don't want you to control the pain. I want you to feel the pain. But you need to create a safe space for yourself to be able to do that, okay? Okay, really, obviously really long message, but obviously really important for you, Samantha. Okay. Okay, he was fit and healthy and died out of the blue. Yeah, and that's why it's just like the whole paradigm shift for you. And that's why I was getting like all this magical energy around, and it's like, it's because it was such like a, you know, that soul contract shift stuff. Yeah, that's huge. Really, really hope you have support. Like I said, guys, if you want to jump in on the 21-day shifter, just comment shifter below and I'll send you that. It's like, yeah, my best support for you. So huge. Yeah, a lot of you guys are grieving at the moment. Huge. Someone said to me recently to create space to grieve daily if you can, an hour where you can come home to yourself. Yeah, and like I said, when you start doing this process, for the first 3 years, it will feel like it's never ending. But if you look at, you've never done this before and you've got like 30, 40, 50 years of your life with all the stuff you've been through, 3 years is nothing. It's this tiny little blip in time compared to the whole life you've lived. And then if you allow yourself this 3 years, this is my 3 years of healing, it'll come in waves, you'll start to feel better, then it'll hit again. And the thing is when we do grieve like this, the gaps in between us grieving get longer and longer. Yeah? Yeah. And that, you know, in just saying that, Mel, when you said, you know, if you grieve daily, like, it's so powerful. And, you know, if we're waking up in the middle of the night, it's grief waking us up. If we're waking up in the morning and we're ratchet, you know, and feeling agitated or like we want to cry, I'm like, it's perfect time to cry. Probably maybe not convenient if you're rushing off to work, but it's like, this is the perfect time to cry when the feelings are fresh, right? And that's why kids wake up in the middle of the night, because they're just full of feelings. Be present with them, let them cry, and it helps to release and they sleep better. Why? Because they're releasing the stress hormone cortisol. Same for you. What is a soul contract? So, you know, soul contracts can go pretty deep into that. There's definitely books out there, you know, people have written books on it. There's so much there, but basically a soul contract is that you come together, in this lifetime for whatever season, reason, or rhyme. Was it rhyme? You get the point. Either for lifetime, season, or for a reason. And, you know, and that can obviously be for however long, to learn whatever between you guys. Yeah, so, and then like, and it's like, you know, there's a contract that you've made before. Basically the understanding is that contract, so before we entered into this life, we, you know, in the divine council of choosing what we're going to do, we decided that we're going to meet at whatever point in our life, and that this was going to happen, and we're going to learn these certain lessons for our different soul growth. You know, some people don't believe in that, some people do. You know, I'm sort of like, it's all interesting information, what resonates for you. But there are those different beliefs that is, you know, a part. And it, like, you know, with what I shared and just with the cards that came out with all the magic around and the, you know, it's why I feel like the soul contract stuff was really quite strong for you there. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sounds like that was really needed message for a lot of people. So yeah. Yeah, you're so very welcome. Thank you for being here and listening. It was a really big download, but obviously really important message. So, okay. So let's see who's next on the timeline of readings. If you can put in yes, please, for a fresh round of yes, pleases. never fully goes away. Once it's there, we just learn to live the best life we can. Yeah, and that's the thing, like, you know, and this is why I say, like, grieve as hard as you can when it's fresh. You know, because then when it does, you know, because then you can, I want to say, get on with life, even though you don't want to get on with life, and that's not why we're grieving. But if you don't, it'll cause more health problems and issues in the long run. And the other part is that when we don't grieve like that, it also keeps that soul connected to the earth plane. You know, and obviously they choose to hang around as well because they want to make sure that you're all right. But also, like, if a person hasn't grieved, like, it can also trap them here, you know, and we don't want that for them either, you know. Okay. And if anyone would like to book a private psychic reading on a 30-minute phone call, just comment psychic below and I can send you the details for that too. Okay. All right, so who is this for? Just scanning through these yeses. Okay, there's Lena. Is this Lena? Is that how you pronounce your name? It's like Hannah, but it's Lena. That's more like Hannah. Sorry, my name's Hannah. I just saw the N and AH in your name and I was like, oh, that's like my name. Lena, welcome. Sorry, that was really not. It's kind of similar, but it doesn't sound similar, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so Lena, I got it right, yay. A lot of purpose stuff here. I already pulled cards. Well, the bottom card of this deck is Ashwagandha, it's purpose. Ashwagandha is really healing, and I feel like there's a lot of pieces coming together for you. So when I think of Ashwagandha, I think of everything working in synergy and being pulled back into place of where it's meant to be. And so I feel like you've been maybe pulled out of something recently, but it's like you're being pulled into alignment. You know, it's like all of a sudden all these things are coming together that you never thought would happen. There is a lot of joy around, but I wonder if you're walking in a bit of, I don't know if fear is the right word. Look, there's so much celebration here. Passion, Archangel Haniel, the victory card just came out, Archangel Sandalphon, and then you've got this, so the breathe and the moon cycles. Oh, look at that. Yeah, Haniel. Oh, Haniel's come out twice for you, so I pulled this before. So Haniel, this is the moon cycles obviously, and the passion, purpose. You take that herb, love it. It's pulling everything into like divine alignment for you. Trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. And then this one, notice how the moon affects your energy and cycles. And this is where I feel, you don't have to let me know, but if you don't mind sharing how old you are, because I feel like there's a big body recalibration going on for you right now. And it's like you're preparing for a new cycle. What is this? And the breathe, this is like, you know, take a break, breathe, but this is the recalibration of energy patterns. Yeah, 40. So brand new cycle starting for you. And at 42 is actually one of the pivotal points on the lifespan chart, where, you know, like, you know, they say 40 people have a like life breakdown or breakthrough, start of a new life, but 42 is actually the age on the actual chart of the spiritual awakening point. So it's like you got another 2 years of sort of like recalibration, hence why I feel like everything is like coming, like do you know what I mean? It's sort of like you've just been sort of wandering, and then all of a sudden it's like pulling and pushing you, like all coming together and pushing you in this sort of direction. And I feel that'll happen for the next 2 years. So I want to say, if you are feeling lost, I want to say be okay that the next 2 years you're finding your ground, because on the lifespan chart, when we look at age 42, it's actually in alignment with 0. So this lifespan chart is not a straight line. It's like, you know, sort of goes around, and it's in alignment with 0 when we're born. And so it's like this whole new cycle. And so also good to be aware of that for the next 2 years for you, and that's why these patterns, that's why it's coming through. And the moon cycles, like your body and your womb, you know, like sacral chakra, and sacral chakra is where we birth new realities, right? So obviously when we come down through chakras, and obviously we gestate a baby in our womb, but also in the sacral chakra, even if you're a man, like you're gestating your purpose, because as we come down and then we birth our purpose on the earth, right? So the sacral chakra very connected to birthing new situations, manifestations, stomach. So hence when we just come out of what we've just talked about in that last reading for Samantha, if you were here listening to that, if we don't let the grief out from our past and the traumas that we've accumulated over our lifetime, that's why people have struggled to manifest and live their dreams and all those things that they hear all those amazing people doing, and they're like, well, why isn't it working for me? And I'm like, well, have you healed? Have you healed from your past? Because that grief sits in your belly, which is the stomach. Oh, interesting, your stomach's been upset. This is the grief. This is the trauma surfacing, wanting to come out. You know, the colon holds on to things. You know what I mean? So, so what's really relevant for you? So at 40 to 42, like I said, it's like when you're 0. So what you're really dealing with, okay, coming up for the next 2 years for you, Lena, is so when you were like 1 and 2 years of age is what you're healing from. So as you come up like 40, 41, 42, it's like 2, 0, 1, right? Like you're rebirthing, and this is like a whole new birth for you. So anything that's surfacing or the feeling lost, so things to sort of, you know, check in with, and you can do journaling process, so you can use the inner child meditation that I mentioned at the start of this live stream. So again, inner child meditation, if you guys need that, just comment in inner child and I'll send you the link for that. It's $15, but when you get that, there's a whole series of training videos of like how to really use the inner child meditation and really heal yourself, because I'm passionate about letting you, you know, teach you how to heal. You don't have to always come to me, right? So so things that you'd be questioning is like, you know, and maybe you don't remember, but your mum might have told you or whatever. Maybe you do remember. So you're the first 2 years of your life, even the first 3 years. So let's talk about the first 2 years first. Okay, now I've got to say this bit first. So when we are born, for the first 3 years of our life, we are still in our mother's aura. Okay, so we've all got an aura, and the first 3 years we are inside of our mother's aura, and so we are you know, absorbing, like we're just in our mother's aura. At 3 years of age, we pop out, and we've finally separated energetically from our mother, and we have our own aura. Okay, so even the last year for you might have just been like already starting to recalibrate and just go, well, what's happening with my life? Because, you know, when we are, you know, like coming up to this age, we're really healing from when we're 3, 2, 1, 0 and born. So the birthing process, things that had happened around like the birthing process, like how you were born, really sets a lot of patterns in your life. And this is so interesting because it smells like this is, you're breaking through a lot of patterning right now, and the patterning also lives in our sacral chakra, because it's the womb, it's connected to the womb, back through the lineage, right? And then also, what was I just going to say then? So my generational lift meditation can be really helpful for you as well. So these are like healing protocols for you, right? So you were so low on December 2022. I almost ended my life trying to rebuild. And honestly, when somebody tries to leave the planet, the next 18 months will be the hardest of your fucking entire life. It'll be the hardest ever. You'll be like, why didn't I go? I wish I could have gone. It will be like hell. It'll be hell. Number 1, I'm so glad you're still here. Number 2, it means like you're rebirthing. Yeah. And rebirthing is not easy. And talking on the grief, I wonder if you were here and you were hearing about us talking about all the grief just then, because the thing is, we can do all the meditations, we can do all that, and it's important. Like, I really believe that conscious understanding can really help heal and shift things, but when we haven't grieved a lot, there is a part where we do need to go through a lot of grief. Like, it's, you know, it's a thing. I do believe we cannot bypass grief, okay? So yeah, so if you just have that, you know, awareness, so number 1, you're at this point in your life where you'll be healing from all the shit that's happened since you have been 40, okay? then on another deeper level, you're also dealing with the 0, 1, 2, 3 first years of your life. So, you know, was there another sibling born? Were your parents together? Did they separate? Was there like a death in the family? Did you move house? Did a pet die? You know, like those sort of like significant things that go on. You know, that don't seem much because again, society's trained to not just to brush them off. They're actually really fucking huge things that sit in our aura. You know, and especially as a child, it's like, you know, like the child is so open, absorbs everything, plus like taking on all the mother's stuff and, you know, all the father's stuff and whatever, because it's in the mother's aura. And, you know, and so, yeah, so my brother was born when I was 18 months, exactly, okay? And so that's a big thing where like your mother's energy got taken away from you. And by the way, when a child is 18 months old, between 12 and 18 months of age, the child gets more clingy. This is, and so many people are like, oh, they're a year old, they should be like independent by now. And it's like, you need to like wrap them up. And this is where a lot of fear, anxiety, abandonment, wounding happens in between the 12 and 18 months of age. Of course, any time before that, because I could go on about this for ages, but you know, that 12 to 18 months of age in a toddler, like in a little baby, you is like craving mom. She's not there. She, you know, she probably would have had the pregnancy leading up to it. She would have had the pregnancy leading up to that. So she energetically was already tired, whatever. Do you know what I mean? And so I would really recommend for you, Lena, number one, grieve. Like you said, you haven't grieved yet. Grief. Inner child. So in the inner child meditation, when I fully committed to it and I did it for 18 months, seems like a long time, but when you hear all the timelines I'm talking about, it's not long. And I made a commitment to myself and I did it every day. And I cried every fucking time that I listened to it. And I let myself cry. And a lot of the time with the inner child, like, you know, in the meditation, and the more you do it, the more you see. The more you do it, the more your inner child builds trust with you and you heal deeper and deeper core wounding, right? And a lot of time it was just like my inner child was just sitting on my lap and we were just crying together. Like, you know, in the meditation, because it's like she was never allowed to cry. She would get belted if she cried, you know? And it's like, I went through this huge phase. This was probably close to 10 years ago now. And it was so healing. And it was so powerful. But it does take time. It takes commitment, time, dedication. And by the way, if you start going on any of these healing protocols that I'm mentioning for 18 months, 3 years, and you drop off and you do like a day and you like, oh, I didn't do it today, don't think you just can't pick it up tomorrow, okay? Because in the grand scheme of 3 years or 18 months, a day here and there is okay. Or even if you have a month's break, but you're committed to the 18 months, it's okay. Okay, because that's like reality breaks, integration breaks, really important, so all the energy can, you know, go up like that. Okay, so yeah, Lena, my mother and I aren't very close. Yeah, and so there's this like mother sort of, you know, abandonment, wounding, feel alone, what am I doing with my life, like all of that, yeah. So, okay, so I haven't grieved. So, yeah, so December 2022, so that was just, oh yeah, just this last year. So what are we now? So, oh, this is like 9 months. This is like one of the crucial points. 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 18 months, you're going to be feeling it like it was yesterday. But they're awesome points that if you didn't grieve in the beginning, these are the timeline points where you let the lid off and you let it all out, okay? So, yeah, and like I said, it's going to be really hard to... you know, what's the word? Like to go into this, but now you've got this understanding with everything that I've been telling you guys on this live stream. It's, you know, like you'll get, the more you do it, the easier it will be to drop into it and know that you're healing on such a deep level. But it can be scary, or you might sort of start crying in the first, you know, bits that you do it, because that's sort of a normal thing to do, is start, because you're trying to understand how you do this. Okay, you're building safety within yourself because you've not been safe the whole time. You haven't had anyone there for you. You're just fucking been doing it on your own, right? So yeah. Marion says, this sounds strange, but I feel so warm watching this. Good. I'm really glad to hear that. In essence, that like this is my heart and this is the love and this is the holding the space of this. You know, I really hope that all you guys can feel that as well. Like just to be held and to understand these emotions, because this is like a big part of my purpose, is to help people feel in their heart and to help people understand their emotions, and they're not crazy and they don't need pills, they just need to fucking cry, you know. And the reason why we don't cry is because of everything else I've been talking about. Yeah, it's really big. Yeah, okay. So very lost, looking for a new cycle. So yeah, it's interesting. I had to ask you about how old you were, obviously, for that reason. Everything's coming together, but it's like, you know, and I don't know if you watched that 3-part series, but what I'm seeing and what it reminds me of is like I guess the portal, if you may. I've got paper still up in here. The portal, like I drew the other day, like you're on the live stream. So like, you know, this is like, you know what I mean? Like you're coming through this birthing portal. Like, you know, as I said with the ashwagandha and the purpose, it's like you're being pushed and you're being pushed through this section of like this next 3-year cycle we've just been talking about in the 39 to 42. And then it's like you're going to pop out the other side. But this bit is going to be a bit challenging. Oh, look, it looks like an eye. Kind of, not really. It kind of does. This is your new vision, right, for your life that's being rewritten and all the patterns, because what did I say? At the sacral chakra is where all the patterns are carried down generational lineage. They sit in our sacral chakra, and our third eye is where we see all these patterns, because the sacral chakra and the third eye chakra are very interconnected. Bottleneck effect. Thank you. I was trying to... yeah. Birthing. It's like birth. Oh, there we go. Birthing. Birthing. Oh my God, you are, because you're coming up to 42. It's like rebirth. Oh my... Sacral chakra and third eye, very interconnected because they're one in from the top and bottom. Yeah? Huge repatterning going on for you. See? Bottleneck creates new vision. Oh, birthing. Coming through the birthing process. Okay, you guys have got it. So, a lot of good things coming, but you won't feel the joy. And that's why I was like, there's joy, but I'm like, there's something going on here. But hopefully that gives you a greater picture, vision, understanding of what you're going through, and to be like, you know, connecting, like I said, if you want to book in with me or and another healer, that whoever you work with, please make sure they understand what I just talked about or they're not the right support person for you. Okay, a 21-day shifter or a 30-minute psychic reading, or my longer term programs, Life Purpose Accelerator is open as well. That's my 12-month healing. And really, when we look at, like, this is why I have my clients on my long-term programs, this, the 12 months, is because if we look at what we deal with, you know, everyone comes to me and they're like, you know, what is my purpose? And I'm like, what's going on in your relationship? You know, it's kind of like, you know, and we unlock a lot of stuff because, you know, as I've just been sharing, you know, like we're carrying our mum stuff, we've got these traumas, like we're lost in our life, like we, you know, didn't want to be here anymore because the feelings are too great. And if we don't heal from that, if we don't, like, you're just not clear on your purpose. And the more we heal and release all this stuff from our aura and all these things, well, then it comes into a place where we're able to really, you know, we become lighter, and we naturally become more psychic when we heal from this grief because it's not blocking us, right? Yeah. Joanne's turning 42 on the 16th. Happy birthday coming up. So hopefully this also helps you as well. Watch out, guys. Scammers are here. It's not me. I won't freaking... No. Kylie D, me. No. Ban. Go away. Leave my page alone. Okay. Leave my people alone. I'm very protective of my people. Can you feel it? Okay. Kelly says, my brother died by suicide 3 years ago this November. The process of grieving has been gut-wrenching, soul-crushing, and eye-opening. In the strangest way, I felt like his death was a catalyst for major necessary changes, complete life upheaval. Whew. So, you know, like, as much as that's hard on a soul contractual level, look at the changes affected, right? Not nice. But yeah, that grief, and that's what I'm talking about, you know, like just grieving. And so on the 3-year mark, it'll feel like yesterday, especially if you didn't give the grief full permission in the beginning. So yeah. Oh, you're a single mum who also left DV as well. Oh my God. Okay. Hello, soul sister. Yeah, okay, that's a whole nother thing. And that's where I was like, the grief of everything, let alone what you're dealing with from your mum, and then, you know, what she went through at that time, what the generational went through, the patterning. Huge, right? Huge. Sharon says we have twin grandbabies, twins, that are 17 months old. It's interesting to watch them discover the world around them. Yeah, that 12 to 15 to 18 months is so crucial in like their You know, they can be quite clingy, but it's so important to just be with it, you know. Yeah, it's so important at that age. I cried and played with my inner child once during a meditation. It was so awesome. It happened after constellation session. Yeah, awesome. The like a once-off inner child is really profound. Please know I'm not disregarding it, but when we do it over a long period of time, like consistently, whether that's daily, whether it's weekly, whether, you know, weekly over a year is still a long time. There's a lot of connection, right? And it builds trust. What does trust do? Oh, we start trusting ourselves. Oh, where does your life purpose live? Oh, in your inner child, right? Oh, what do we struggle with? Oh, trusting yourself. Why? Oh, because your inner child's like, yeah, yes, yeah, so deep, so deep. April says, please share with me. There's a lot of confusion yet soul purpose, and I'm missing something. My dad. Doesn't really make sense. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. But yeah, the confusion and stuff, like people are like, what's my purpose? And I'm like, well, are you really willing to discover that? Because it takes work to uncover that. And that's not something I can tell you. I'm not like, this is your purpose. I'm like, I teach you how to heal. I teach you how to, you know, do this work. Like, of course, I'm here to guide you with it, and we all need a hand up, definitely. But it's like, I'm not, you know, your life purpose is not for me to tell you nor discover. That's for you to discover. But it depends if you're really willing to do the long-term work to find that, you know? Yeah, so there's a 21-day call come through. All right. Okay, I think we're good. Let's had a call come through. So 21-day shifter program is, I extended it for another 3 hours. Oh, I need to go and have some lunch. I don't know how long I've been on this live stream for, but way too long, I think. But there's really important messages that needed to come out. So my 21-day shifter program is usually $997. It's actually $300 at the moment, which is just crazy ridiculous. I've actually never had it at that price. Even years ago, I didn't have it that low either. So 21-day shifter program is 21 days, obviously working with me one-on-one. It's voice message, text message. I'm there. You ask me any question day or night. I help you heal through that space. So just comment shifter below if you'd like the details for that. Otherwise, there's my 30-minute psychic reading. If you want a one-on-one psychic reading, just comment psychic below and I'll send that to you as well. And if you'd like to watch the heart chakra training, just the one little snippet video that I've been called to share publicly, just comment heart below and I'll send that to you as well. So yeah, you do need to do the work. Exactly. No one can do that for you. Yeah. April says, I've been in trauma therapy for 6 years. So I hope that they're discussing and going through all the stuff like I just shared on this live stream, because if they're not, you'll be there for another 6,000 years. I'm not being a bitch, but I'm like, I hope they're really going into what I just spoke about on this live stream, because this is the thing where I'm just like, this is healing. We can talk about our stuff and we can do certain things, but if we're not making all these connections and unlocking the threads that are connected in all these plays, this is really the energy dynamics of like past life, interdimensional, plus childhood, plus, you know, all that sort of stuff. I'm like, it really needs to, I just really pray that they're doing that. So I'm really passionate about stuff, so don't mind me. Okay. Oh, lots of birthdays this week, guys. Happy birthdays. 42. Yep. Awesome. Yeah, awesome. Okay. All right, I need to take a break because I don't know how long I've been talking for and I've been filming all morning, so I'm out. I'm done. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope this helped you guys, and I will see you very soon once I get my voice and energy back. Love you. Bye.